Hello everyone, and welcome to the video notes for Unit 2, Day 5. And in today's lesson, we are dividing fractions with unlike denominators. We're continuing that. And today's video is dedicated to Sebastian in 6C. Hey Sebastian. For part 1, let's check our work real quick. 11/8 divided by 3/4. If you got that, good. 7/8 divided by 3/8 for this one, and then 3 1/2 divided by 1/3. If you got that, put a check. So anytime we're writing a division equation from a situation, you think to yourself, how much am I starting with? In this case, 3 1/2. And I'm splitting it into sections that are how big? 1/3. So now let's move on to part 2. And here, we're going to go through the 5 steps for when we have a division equation and we actually want to create our own situation. So these are examples here of when you have a situation and then you write an equation. Now we're going to do the reverse. So step 1 is first to think about, what does this equation mean? Well, it means how many. So it's 1/2 divided into sections that are each 1/8 big. So how many 1/8 are in 1/2? That's what we're trying to figure out. And then step 2 is to draw a model. But before I just jump into draw a model, I want to check my denominators. I'm dividing 1/2 by 1/8. And it's harder to draw a model when you have different denominators, so the first thing I want to do is change one or both of these denominators so that they're the same. So my denominator here is 2, my denominator over here is 8. I first check, can I multiply one of these numbers to get to the other? Yes, I can. I can multiply 2 times 4 to get 8. So I'm going to change 1/2. Multiply that by 4 over 4 to get 4 out of 8. So now I'm changing my equation here from 4/8 divided by 1/8. And then I can draw that out. 4/8. Okay, so let's draw our 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I have 8 boxes. And I'm going to shade in 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of this right here is 4/8. And then I want to see how many sections of 1/8 do I have, because we're dividing by 1/8. So here's 1/8. Here's 1/8. Here's 1/8, and here's 1/8. And so altogether, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections of 1/8. So my answer is going to be 1/2 divided into sections of 1/8. I can make 4 of those sections. Now step 4 and 5. So far, all this is pretty similar to what we've already done. Now we're going to take what we have, and step 4 is to choose a unit. So to remember what a unit is, right here are some examples. Units can be how long something is, like feet, inches, or yards. Or it could be time, like seconds, hours, days, or minutes. How heavy something might be, pounds or ounces. Or it could even be things like pizza slices or cups of flour. Anything that you're using to measure something. So from these examples of units, I'm going to choose, let's go with hours. And now I think of what situation can I create where I have 1/2 of an hour and I'm splitting that 1/2 hour into 1/8 of an hour. So I'm going to go with, let's say Sebastian, because this is the video dedication. Sebastian has 1/2 hour, that's how much you start with, has 1/2 hour to finish his homework. If each problem takes him 1/8 of an hour, right now I'm taking that 1/2 hour and then splitting it into eighths, he can finish four problems. Right, this is a situation that can be represented by this diagram. So this is just one example of a situation that you could write. Other types of situations are these right here. You can look at those as well. So what I want you to do now is to turn the page to page 3, and you guessed it, read the equation. Right, looks like we have different denominators here, so you might have to change it so it has the same denominator first. And then go through each of the steps, 1 through 5, like you did on the previous page, and create your own situation at the very end. So, pause the video for as long as you need to so you can finish this on your own. And then after you've done all of it, or done as much as you can, then you can continue the video. So do that now, please. Now you are continuing the video after you have done as much of this as you can. And remember, if you're just copying this down without trying it yourself, you're cheating yourself out of some learning. So make sure you challenge yourself. All right. So 3/4 divided by 1/2. This means how many 1/2s are in 3/4? Draw a diagram. Well, first, let's make sure we have the same denominators. We're going to change 1/2 so that it has 4 as a denominator. So 1/2 times what is going to give me 4 as a denominator? 2 times 2. So multiply 2 at the top here. So 1 times 2 equals 2. So now we're doing 3/4 divided by 2/4. That we can do. All right, draw 3/4. Shade it in. All of that, it represents 3/4. And how many 2/4 sections can we fit? Here's 2/4. And then here would be 2/4, but I only have 1 out of the 2 that I need. So it's 1/4. So I can have 1 full section of 2/4, and then I have 1 left over. So 3/4 divided by 1/2 equals 1 whole. So I can fit 1 2/4 in. And then remember here, I have 1 out of the 2 that I would need. So it's 1 out of 2. Okay. And then you can choose any of these examples of units. I'm not going to do these two because these, right, every person's answer is going to be different. Choose your unit and then write your situation. After you've done this, I'm going to have you put your computer away, and then I want you to read all of the steps in this poster checklist, because the poster is what you're going to work on for the rest of class, and whatever you don't finish is going to be your homework. So read through these steps right here, and then you can start your poster on the back on page 4. All right, so 5 gold stars to all of you, and I will see you later.